And we are live. Welcome back to On the King's Dime. It is an unusual Wednesday night. Usually we come on a Monday night, but tonight we're doing a Wednesday night as we played the Perth Wildcats yesterday. We're going to talk about that and also the Adelaide game in the NBL Cup, the brand new NBL Cup. We're going to discuss that, do a little armchair COVID talk, and discuss the two games. It'll be an interesting episode, a win and a loss. Plenty to discuss, but as always, you can like and subscribe on Facebook. We are on YouTube. We're also on Apple Podcasts, on Google Podcasts. Keep wanting to say Pod Addict, but we're not on Pod Addict. And we are also on, what else are we on? Spotify as well. If that is your preferred watch platform or listen platform, definitely get over to Spotify and subscribe to us. We are, what else are we doing? We're doing anything else? No, we got nothing else coming up.
No, I'm having a baby, so...
Yeah, wow, not long to go for you. Woo! That's going to be interesting how we're going to do those pods when you've got a little one to take care of. But yeah, as always, like, share and subscribe. It's been an interesting start to the season. There's been plenty happening. Some up and down stuff. We've got injuries galore. It's been, some crazy roster stuff. Let's just quickly start out with the Dave Anderson rumors.
Yeah, is that confirmed or is
I don't think there's anything confirmed yet. But what's your thoughts, Dave Anderson?
Look, Dave Anderson back in the day is a good pickup. However, Tommy V's been doing all right, man. I'm on the Tommy V train at the moment. He stepped into that power forward position well and can shoot the three ball and is fit. Hella. Little bit numpty-ish on defense sometimes.
He's a bit out of control, eh? Look, I'm in his corner though. There's, I think probably a 1 in 5 foul calls is probably dodgy for him as well. There's been a couple of just like, come on, man, like, geez, give the guy a break. It's a little bit like Hunter as well. It's the same where you're just like, geez, come on, man, like he's trying his best. Like we don't need to call everything here. Like give him some slack. But I like, man, a little scoring punch off the bench.
Yeah, man.
I like that as an idea. How old is he? 38? I was about to look it up and then I stopped looking it up. Let me just... Dave Anderson, Lebanon? No, that's not it. Dave Anderson, he's 40. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I'm out. Hit the ejector seat on that one. You just punch out. Nah, I'm in, but like whatever. If he plays 2 or 3 games, he gives us 10 minutes, shoots some post jumpers and some turnarounds. Why not?
That's it, man. Just be there in space to hit the jumpers when Casper maybe isn't falling. But hey, man, Casper is in pretty fine form, I have to say.
Yeah, he's had a good couple of games. We'll go through that. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the return of DK. Daniel Kickett back in. I think it gave us a little boost.
Yeah, his shooting is definitely something to behold. Just, no post. I think post kicker can be tucked back and put in the chest of many things that we just don't want to see for the rest of the year. He really is the trail 3 Kickett, like, Bogdanovic, Casper, collapse, kick out to kick it, and then he shoots the 3 ball, and he's going to hit it at 50%. Like, there's no one better in the league that can do that. So we'll put post kicker just in a little bit. Like, the really worrying thing is, man, we have no post offense. Zero post offense. It's kind of bizarre, but yeah, let's
what we do have just doesn't fit the overall like what we do. You know what I mean? Like it's toss it in and hope for a bucket. Like, a Geordie around the bucket, just have a crack, mate. Just have a crack. Like it's not schemed. And I'm wondering if, for example, not necessarily Dave Anderson, but if someone who was a dedicated post threat, like Jarrell, like with Jarrell out, obviously Jarrell is that post threat, and you can see our offense kind of functions a lot better when he's in the team because there's some in-out stuff going on. But when he's not there, it's just shooting and, screens and just shoot. DJ just launch it. Tommy V just launch it. Everyone just launching it. And I think like we'll outgun some teams. Like we've seen a couple of wins where we outgun teams, but I think we've kind of got to just go. And I don't know if we're going to be able to beat the better teams like this, playing like this.
Yeah, I think that there were probably decent defensive center, an offensive center away from beating teams like that. But yeah, it's going to be a bit of a run and gun season, I think, from here on out until Jarrell's back or Cooks is back. How long is Jarrell out for? Do we know?
So it was 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay, so that's conservative, probably.
Yeah. I don't trust that at all because we brought this up already. We saw Glover still in the moon leg, and it was like that dude ain't coming back. And he was, I think he was 3 weeks or 4 weeks. When it was diagnosed. I think maybe 6 weeks ago. And it was like, even in that Breakers game, we were just like, this dude's not coming back. Like this dude, that's like, it looks like a season-ending injury, basically.
Yeah.
I think
just give him hope.
Yeah, might be playing the cards.
MCL sprains 4 to 6 weeks typically.
I think Majok Deng was just out with a 6-week sprain. Lamar's out for 4 weeks with some sort of burger hand related injury. No, I'm just kidding. I think it was a sprained knee. But yeah, I hope Jarrell can come back in 3 to 4 weeks. That'd be great. But I wonder if the club's kind of being a little bit coy, try and, lessen the severity of this injury. Because I guess, like I was thinking about the other day, like you've also got these contractual things too. Like you got replacement players, you got how you kind of report what injuries are to the league. Like it's not necessarily like the NBA where there's a set roster, every dude's getting paid a lot of money, they're well kind of insured and well cemented into a roster. Like here, like we saw Kernich Drew for 2 weeks and then it's like, he's not even on the trip, he's not even in the bubble at the cup type of thing.
He just got a couple of paychecks and he's just
so I guess like
we saw him miss a rotation and
it was just like tugs out. But so yeah, I'm thinking like part of me was just like, man, come on, give us an update. Like I want to know the info, and this part of me is just like, oh well, you kind of got to massage the way we report these and the way we look at these things because there are these other implications to do with the roster, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, and also I think that if you do, there must be certain timeframes for injury to organise injury cover. Like if you're injured for 2 weeks, obviously you don't get injury covered. But if there's a period of 4 to 6 weeks, maybe that is the case. I'm not sure, but 4 to 6 weeks is a likely time frame for Jarrell, and that kind of takes us pretty deep into the season now because we're kind of deep, especially with this NBL Cup run that's on things. So I don't know how many rounds are left. Do we know how many rounds this is going to be, or like they're just going to call it one day and just go finals?
Yeah, just finals, and then here you get the final, you get the championship, like they did last year. Still a bit salty about that, but I'm just going to go onto the NBL page, but the whole. Like if you look at what this cup is, I think it was 10 rounds. I think I'm just going to check now. No, maybe it was 9, but they're all 8-game rounds. So it's a lot of games. Like there's a lot of games jammed in here. I was just saying to someone in the messages, like you got these chances during the tipping to just bounce back. It's just like, whoa, we got 7 in a game week, and now you're just back on top of the ladder type of thing.
Yeah.
And these games are going to come thick and fast. I'm wondering, like, we're already shorthanded. We've already got a thin squad. Now we've got to play, like, all these games, double game weeks. It's just basically probably playing every, 4 days on average, or 5 days nearly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think you're right. We're going to crunch through some of these games. I'm just going through round 6, round 8, round 9. Yeah, so I think it was up to round 9.
Okay.
So, I don't know. Maybe there's more. They haven't scheduled them yet. I don't know. Don't know enough about the cup. Just the damn cup, man. So on to the Adelaide game. We got armchair COVID. Anything we got like armchair COVID related?
Yeah, it's kind of irrelevant for us at the moment, isn't it? It's really everything's kind of
vaccines are coming. Hopefully
soon.
Everyone kind of relaxes a little bit. We're back to our
all right, let's go a little bit of armchair COVID. At the end of the Australian Open Grand Final, they got up and said to everyone, "Oh, it's so wonderful! The vaccines were here this year," and then they just got booed.
Who said that? I heard that somebody got booed, like the chair of
the tournament director is like, it's wonderful. The vaccines are going to be here this year. It's going to be great. We'll get back on tennis. I was like, boo,
boo. What's that all about, man? I didn't watch any tennis. It was funny this year. Like this is the first year I haven't really watched the Aussie Open. Like it's always been a staple over the last, like can you remember growing up and just, it's like January, summer, like we're going into like, it coincided with going back to school Like
Yeah,
the
but I
end of
think
going back to school was, the finals of the Australian Open. I can remember like cricket days and barbecues where like the final would be on and you'd be watching it.
yeah,
And now I just didn't watch it at all. I don't think I watched a single minute of the Australian Open this year.
I think it's just because most of the Australians in the tournament are just twats.
Yeah, true.
And it's kind of a men's, like, we're cool. And then Ash Barty was out there. It was like, oh, no, that's it, female. We
And
don't care.
everyone's
Ash isn't
favorite
playing.
choker, Stam Stosur.
Oh, man. That is a wasted career. That is a wasted
But
career. But
it kind of is does it feel a bit new world order type thing where if you look at what the NBL is, to tie it back into the NBL standing on its own 2 feet. And it's something you need to connect yourself to. Like it's not getting any handouts, any legs up. Like SBS is a bit of a leg up, and ESPN's a little bit of a leg up. But at the same time, like this Australian Open wasn't on any of the apps that I look at. So it's like, I won't be watching that.
yeah,
Whereas I used to grow up watching a lot of free-to-air TV and 7 would be always on, bang, 7. Like the Australian Open, put it on at night, watch games going to sleep. And the NBL's a little bit different. I was thinking about it to tie it back into this cup. Like the amount that the games will come thick and fast over this last week. I've been like, sweet. Like I could put these on like while I'm doing stuff at night. Like it's a game at night. Like oh cool. Like it's a little bit like a little big bashy type thing.
yeah.
Where you just have it on.
Especially at those times of the day and night, it makes it easier to kind of just have on in the background, but not easy enough to sit down and watch it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As a parent, so we're getting into like parents' corner. We're getting into old people here. Like our lives are definitely moving into the twilight of having kids and being parents.
Don't jump on daddy's nuts.
Yeah. So I think we're kind of sailing out of COVID now. So hopefully we can get back in this arena, bring our masks but not wear them, of course. The next home game. But yeah, this cup. How are you feeling about this cup? I love games, man. I like games, but I'm still just like cup. Okay, sure.
Yeah, I don't really care. It's just as long as the games get played and the season gets finished, and we're competitive, then it's kind of like, well, what else?
And
what else is there?
Dude, you won 2 quarters, man. It's like, yeah, okay. Like, all right, did we win the game? Yeah, we won the game. Yeah, sweet. But you only won 2 quarters. Like, who cares? Like, why is that a thing? That doesn't make any sense.
It's all about the playoffs for us. Let's be real.
And then I saw we played 2 games and we're like, we're at top because we've won like 3 quarters and only won 1 out of our 2 games. Like, well, we're second. It's like, what? Just like put them in a bubble and play games and just don't even call it the cup. Just call it like the season.
Yeah.
Would it have made any difference if we have just like, let's just have, 25 games in a bubble and just play them there. Like, and don't call it the cup.
Yeah, I think that would have been like, we're going into kind of a bubble and then going back to one game kind of a week at home, getting a run into the finals, because the finals is going to be the big money if we get there. Maybe this year they needed to do it because so many teams are playing on the road for so long. Maybe they need to do it like a play-in for the 4th position, like the 4th and 5th battle out for the final spot. I don't know, something different because of the fact that these teams, Sydney's going to be playing on the road most of the season, and that's kind of,
And New Zealand as well.
Yeah, New Zealand
pretty
as
much
well.
the entire season.
Yeah, but the Breakers are so just not just their own fault.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, they're just happy to get paid, I suppose, in New Zealand.
It's poor Breakers, man.
Yeah. So.
The cup. Cool, man. Yeah, there's a cup going on. But it was good to see our first game. We'll go on to this Adelaide game. A first kind of hit out. We'd played 2 games, 1-1, lost 1, or lost 1, 1-1. And then to go into this game, sort of, I feel like we've got the wood on Adelaide a little bit. Does that feel like that to you?
It definitely feels like that. It feels like Jordan Hunter is exceptionally adept in annoying the crap out of DJ and Isaac Humphries without fouling as well. Yeah, man, Humphries was like, MVP level, and then just went, and he just hasn't found his mojo. And admittedly, their import leaving, who was quite good, and then getting Tony Crocker in, who hasn't played professional basketball in like 2.5 years. If you look at his NBA ref, like he hasn't played since, I think it's 2018 was his last season in Europe. So it's kind of like, well, it's a little bit haphazard. Josh Giddey isn't really a shooter. And so, you just, it's a short season to build something that, these teams do not have the same core year in, year out. And so you've just kind of slot all these different guys in and just hope for the best. Whereas, you see Sydney's had a good little core. I mean, Casper, Diddy, Kickett, Geordie Hunter, like they've had a core, Moller, they've had a core of players, and then they've brought in some pieces. Whereas this Adelaide is literally just being pieced together around DJ. Like I don't know if there's anyone from last season except DJ.
Yeah, so DJ, Tice, Fitter and Turner, Brendan Tees.
Yeah, that's
and Pinder was there, but Pinder was playing like a nothing role.
Yeah.
So apart from that, yeah, and Madronia I think was there as well. But yeah, it's a bit of a messy situation. They were so good at the start of the season, and Giddey was actually really good as well. I don't know what's going on with him. Like he is not not dedicated offense too. And no. I'm not sure, maybe kind of our guards, like Ware and Bruce, did a really good job defensively pushing him off that, like out of that pick and roll situation with Humphreys and DJ. But also, like, with the amount of, like, hustle we have with Tommy V and Jordan Hunter. Tommy V getting the start, too. 3 or 4 from 3 in this game. It was like, okay, sweet. I think we've got to lose the moniker, the Tommy Vaudeville moniker. I think we've got to give him Vodanovic back. Yeah,
give him his actual name.
Yeah, he's got to have his actual name back. I think he's earned it.
He's earned a peace position in this organization for sure.
And I think he and Hunter, right? They just hustle. And one of the main things I noticed in this game and in the last 2 games, like they push Humphreys off his spot and they push DJ off his spot. And those two just don't have that. That's not in their comfort zone. Like their comfort zone is like, no, you just let me take these shots. A little bit Shaq-like, where it's just like, no, like I get this shot. And it's like, well, not letting you have that shot. And then what do you got now? And Humphreys, I noticed, is a little bit like, just gets flustered, gets a bit out of control, starts like really blowing up court, blows up. And I noticed that we kind of were getting under his skin a little bit. You mentioned Crocker. He actually played quite well, and he feels like a guy where don't let him get going. Like he had a couple of little stretches where it's like, like don't let him get going. He was 2 or 4 from 3, 4 of 9 from 2. Quite good in the mid-range. But this Giddey situation for them is like, if he's not running, conventional kind of pick and roll with Humphreys and DJ and making things happen, he's kind of like a bit of an unreliable scorer, a little bit tentative. At the start of the season, it was very just give him the ball, let him go. Let's take him off the leash and let him have a go. But as this season kind of formed up around him, and then Sunday Jetch, who I think has probably been one of the steals of the season, like he's been so good as a 2-way player. If you didn't have Giddey, you could probably get away with just having Detch run point the entire time, play make, probably have a bigger sort of small forward scorer in there, might supplement them a little bit.
Yeah.
But we're looking through their roster, man. Tees, McVeigh, Madronia, Dylan, Pinder, and then, the development players. This is a little bit like, ooh, that's not a great roster. Like, once you take out those main players. So Tees had 5 points off the bench, McVeigh 6 points off the bench. And then Humph only had 14, Croc had 15, and DJ only 6 points, 1 of 8. It was just chode, man. Yeah. The chodeness.
Yeah. You have to give it to Jordan Hunter this game. I think he probably played the game of his life, his career, watching Jordan Hunter over his professional career. He didn't need to score points, but this game he definitely, for my mind, had his best game in this league. In the 2 seasons that he's been with Sydney. So hats off to him.
For sure.
He'll definitely be in my 3-2-1 at the end of this segment. But we're going to go to Casper. Casper is back.
Yeah, I think he's back.
I think he's back. He's back.
Is it too early? Is it too early?
I don't think so, because you watch what he's doing. He's getting himself into games. He's getting to the hoop. He's getting to the mid-range. And then he's putting the dagger in. He's getting on those little streaks. And then he's getting a heat check in there, and then he's pulling back. He's like, all right, back to the cup. The heat check's in, back to scoring. It's a different mindset, and it's very much one that's it's needed because this team is so short-handed. He's got to be scoring 30 points a night. Really, that's what he's got to be getting into the high 20s, early 30s for us to really be given a chance.
If you take Jarrell out of there, because Jarrell's pretty much like 21 and 10 automatic too. Yeah. So that's a huge chunk of our points. I think we've got to give a bit of a shout out to DJ in his fearless scoring. Like he just comes out and just puts them up. And I think that kind of it I don't know the best way to explain it, but it kind of, instead of like making Casper go, I can do it too, I'll just knock up shots as well. Like Casper kind of goes, oh, okay, you take some shots then, that's good, that's all good. And he can sit back. We've seen that a couple of times against Adelaide where it just kind of sits back, you know, lets the offense kind of gets back into a rhythm. He's still getting absolutely nothing at the hole too. Like he'll just go into bodies and just get crunched, and you're just like, damn.
What I don't get is just like, oh, he's just a rookie, he's just not getting because he's a rookie. It's just like, this is the stupidest feckin' thing on earth, that we're just not getting calls because he's a rookie. The veterans get those calls. Well, then that's not playing the feckin' game properly, is it? Jesus Christ.
It's crazy. He's getting knocked around. Even Casper's getting knocked around a little bit. But it was a solid all-round performance. Casper had 23, 8 of 11 from 2, so he was getting inside. Avoiding those shot blockers too. Did he get blocked? No, he didn't get blocked at all. And then DJ had 22, 9 of 17. But he's got that little mid-range. Like he's got that little, I can just step in. You create something that's not just, you know, vanilla bog standard offense where where a team can kind of go, oh, bring someone over, let's shut this down.
So quick to the hoop though. Like when he's just getting there, he's super laser quick to the hoop, which is crazy. This is little, like, you know, Humfo won Rookie of the Year, playing a lot less minutes, scoring a lot less points, and then kind of got picked up and taken over. Do you think DJ is potentially going to be looked at by some G League, Summer League next year, NBA potentials? Like a guy that can shoot in the mid-range, can stretch the floor and get to the cup. Most of the Aussies, think about that. Most of the Aussies that play in the NBA, not really that adept. Can come around a curl and shoot. It's okay.
Humphrey's right, 7-footer, and can shoot. So we went through a little bit of a period in the NBA of any 7-footers that can shoot. Anyone? Like, let's get a 7-footer in here. Can you shoot the ball? Okay, yep, you're in this team. DJ's in a little bit of a disadvantage because he's a smaller guard. It's a smaller guard type scenario. What is he, 6'4", I think, in shoes?
Yeah, 6'4".
And then, you know, the guards always have that tough time of like, okay, are you 6'8" and super powerful? Okay, then we don't want you. Like it's a little bit of a different scenario in terms of comparing it to Humfo. But I still would think, man, if you can score the ball, there's no reason why he couldn't go over and play some G League at least. Maybe make a few starts in the NBA as well. But at the same time, you kind of look at his size and go, like, probably not. But I'm not saying I would do that. I'm not like scout or a GM, but that's probably what I think they're thinking is like, he's probably not big enough.
Probably, and 6'6". He needed to be 6'6". If he was 6'6" and could do all this, then he would probably be they're just going to these mutant lineups, aren't they? Oh, 6'6", it could stretch the floor. Yeah, you're the shooting guard, you know.
Are you super powerful and can just score from anywhere? Yeah, you're in. Like, you know, I mean, that's kind of what it is. That's what we saw in JT last year, whereas he, like, you know, 6'4", wide as a truck and just bumping dudes out of the way. And it's like he goes into the NBA and just like, oh, right. Like, he's just such a big dude.
Just quietly the behind, over the head.
Dude, that layup was ridiculous, man. How good was that? And off it like a rebound where no one was even looking. Like nobody even looked down to where the ball was. He was just like, and just like a junkyard dog, just grabbed it and was like, over his head, man. So good. He's been playing so well, man. I'm so proud of him. So happy for him, making that NBA. Even though they stink, that team absolutely stinks.
It's terrible.
It's great for him. I'm just like, I don't care. Every night I'll just watch JT. I don't care how bad this team is. But yeah, this Adelaide game, it was a good performance, a blowout too. I think it was, 17-point win on the night. Just having a look through some of the stats. Let's have a look at them. Only 12 assists, a low assist. Like we've had a couple of games where we're down around 10 assists. We had been kind of getting up to about 20 assists a game. So a little bit less ball movement. But I think for the Adelaide team, like they've got a couple of shot blockers, some inside guys. Yeah. So you don't necessarily have to pass the ball around, move it around.
It's a lot of outside shooting.
We were 63% from inside, so 24 of 38, and then 37% from three, which is not red hot, not match winning red hot, but still pretty solid.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's look, we won the game. It was a bit of a blowout. He put some good points on the plus and minus, so I'm happy.
And I think you encapsulated with Casper's back. Those 3 threes he hit, which is like, Casper's back, which that's a great feeling. How good is that feeling of just being like, here comes Casper, which is good because
that was the dagger. That was the dagger. That was the dagger that hit pretty hard.
Yeah, because he is another guy that I think every time he has a bad game, he's got to then just take 3 or 4 games to re-earn his credit back. And I don't like it. Like, I think he's always going to be, in the higher tier of caliber players in the NBL. But at the same time, he gets scrutinized so heavily. Like, I like the fact that he never, instead of shooting his way out of these slumps, he's going into a rhythm mode, trying to get guys going, trying to move the ball around. 2 assists in this game, it's not great, but he's actually trying to play basketball to get himself out of these situations where he's not playing well, even though he is playing great. Now, onto this Perth game.
This is a high-scoring game.
It was a high-scoring game. It was a crazy game, man. It was a really high-level game. I'm just going to go over. I'm just going to, on the King's salt, because get ready from some ref salt. There's going to be some ref salt in this. So it was a pretty good game. I don't necessarily think it was a 113-106. I think, we probably deserved to lose that by about 10 in the end, that third quarter stretch. And the offense from Mooney and Cotton was just too much, I think, in that third and fourth quarter. Yeah. We saw like a couple of actually really good offensive performances. DJ, only 13 points. If he scores 20, a few more of his shots go down, maybe maybe we win that game. Tommy V had 10 points, 2 or 4 from 3. I think he started 2 of 2 in this game. And then Diddy, we wasted a 7 of 13 night from Diddy, 19 points. And Craig Moller, 4 of 5 as well. So all these guys had good nights offensively, yet we end up losing by 7 in a high-scoring game.
Sometimes Bryce is just, man,
he's so good though. Like I hate saying it, it deserves to be said by everybody, right? Yeah. In the wider league, in the media sphere, in his peers deserve to say it. Everyone deserves to say it. But I'm a Kings fan and I don't want to say it, but man, that dude is just. The shots he hits are just out of this world where you're just like that. No, like why is that going down? That does not make sense. 2 dudes are in your face, defended it perfectly. You had to shoot that over hands. Like no, and they still go down. They just hurt so much, man. You're just like, God damn it. Like why? And Mooney, man, like that was a ridiculous night. 12 of 13 from 2, 3 of 4 from 3. Absolutely absurd shooting the ball.
Yeah, but that's a once a season kind of.
I've seen him play like this in a couple of their games, and okay, to go back to that Hunter Vodanovic type of choding DJ and Humphreys off their spot. Mooney was just like, all right, I'll just shoot hooks and I'll go 1 step, 2 step hook. I'll shoot a fade, I'll shoot a jumper. Okay, leave me open at the elbow, I'll shoot that too. I'll shoot some threes. But these are things that DJ and Humfo don't do. They go, I'm going to try and go back inside. I want to go back inside. Give it to me inside. Set me up on the block. Whereas Mooney was just like, I don't care where I get it. I'm going to get the ball 1 step and go. And then there was kick it. I think he scored a basket and went to run up court and kick it through in the old Philippines elbow. Gave him one of those under the ribs. And he didn't like it, man. He did not like it. And I thought, oh, yeah, sweet. Let's see how he goes after this. And it was just like bucket, bucket, bucket. I'm just like, damn it. Not even that worked. So we didn't actually talk about kicks in that first game. It's so good to have him back, man.
It is. It's a little bit of adjustment defensively. I think that
I like this scheme though. Like I think this is a different type of scheme to what we had under Gaze and Weaver. Like with Bogut there, like we now kind of exist in having that choker center that's just chubbing up the lane. And we don't have to be like, oh, okay, we've got a shot blocker, let's change our scheme, and like we can do this, we can funnel, we can do other things. Now we're kind of always playing with Hunter plays like that, Tommy Vodanovic plays like that, and Kickett plays like that. So we're not changing things around a lot, which I kind of like. And it kind of, you're never going to get like a stellar defensive performance out of Kickett and Hunter, really, and Vodanovic. You're never going to be going, wow, what a phenomenal defensive performance. You're always going to be happy when they play well. And you go, because I like at the start of this game, I was just watching it just going, man, like I feel so happy that we've got just a bunch of these players where you're just like, every time they score, you're happy for them. You're just like, sweet. Tommy V's knocking down shots. Nice. Shawnee Bruce knocked down a couple of shots, set up some plays. Like it's just such a feel-good team. And then, through that second half, you just get that like, God damn it, like the rivalry thing. Like we've got a lot of injuries. Like I said in the Facebook group, I don't know why Perth was so smug in this game. Like they were so smug down the stretch of this game. And I'm just like, dude, we've got like 4 guys out. Like, why are you being so smug? Like you're beating out like second tier team.
Yeah,
I know, but just get out of here. I don't want to hear about that. But I thought we played really well. And Caspar, man, we wasted yet another great night from him. 34 points, 10 of 19, 8 of 12 from 2. So getting inside, getting no fouls at all. 0 fouls. And that was Mooney. What did he end up having? 2 fouls. Like there could have been 2 or 3 on him. He could have had, stretches where he sat. You put Hunter in there and Hunter gets 3 fouls almost straight away. And just like, are you kidding me? Like, what the hell? Like, what is this? And Tommy V fouled out in the Adelaide game. Where 1 out of every 5 of his are just like, that is not a foul. Like, but yeah, let's go into a little ref salt. That second quarter where I think we had a lead of about 8, about 10. I think we were up by about 10. We had a nice scoring run. It was just like they were in the bonus. Like it was just like, and 2 minutes has passed, and now Perth are in the bonus. And you're just like, what? Like what? You just like kept him back, like kept him in this game. Like we're up 10, about to run away with this. And we've seen this a few times this season where it's just like we get this scoring bunch going, and we're like, yeah, sweet. Like here we go, guys. And it's just like foul, 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 and just like. Why? I don't understand, man. Like, why? Like, these guys get penalized.
They give fouls in runs, don't they? They're just like, oh, this quarter we're just going to call every tussle a foul. And you're like, that's not how you call the first quarter.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
And it hurts our momentum,
NBL
man.
Refs. Yeah, it does. And they know that. I don't know. There's a conspiracy against the Kings. I've always thought that from the refereeing. There's always a conspiracy against the Kings because we never get home cooking. Like, I think one home cooking game last year, just the rest were just like, and we're literally trying to make you lose this game by sending every other team to the line in the fourth quarter. You're like, what?
Yeah, and I had said in the Facebook group, like, it's so contrasted when you watch Cotton play. Like, if you watch Cotton play in isolation, I said there most nights watching him just going, God, like, why doesn't Casper get these fouls ever? Like, the ones where, like, he gets in front of his man, the guy clearly kind of, like, bumps him over the back, or Cotton will go into the like arch back into his defender. He always gets that call. Yeah. And Casper just can't get that call, man. Even when dudes like go through the back of him. I remember Wagstaff last year, like went right through the back of him. And they were just like, nah. And you're just like, oh my goodness. And yeah, I thought so the third quarter, a few fouls, a little bit of run, they just let everything go. We've had I think we have that Adelaide game where they did the same thing. Like if this was happening all the time, I'd go, okay, I want to see games like this where you don't call these ticky-tack things here and there. And then towards the end, they give a bunch of 3-point fouls and everyone goes, so you got fouls? You got fouls. So why are you complaining? And you're just like, man, really? Like, you gave us a couple of 3-point fouls at the end of the game that probably weren't even fouls? Like, come on.
Yeah.
They had, so we had they had 16 fouls. We had, 24? And they didn't get in the bonus the second half. I was just like, are you kidding me, man? But let's talk Diddy. Diddy's back, I think.
Great. Yeah, great. Great to see him back. This is what we need because he is destructive when he's on song. And, shooting the 3 ball, getting to the hoop, defending, lockdown defender. We kind of really need him this year. And he hasn't been on song for a little while, obviously with sore backs. But this was his kind of coming out game. And, man, it's good to see. It's so good to see.
So does his stretch does it feel like his stretch kind of goes back to last season? That he hasn't been...
Yeah, he hasn't been kind of himself. The finals he wasn't too bad, but this year he has definitely been not of... But again, it's kind of weird because he had to rush off back to Brazil like pretty much straight away because the borders were closing. And then he was just in lockdown in Brazil because they had so many cases. And so,
Yeah, I was surprised he came back, to be honest. I was surprised he didn't just go to the US and just be like, don't worry, I'm out. Maybe because we had no cases, he came here, but yeah, I thought it was a bit crazy. But
you look at the guys that, really, you look at Ingles and things like that, seasoned professionals, man, and they really struggled the first 20 games of the season. Now they're just starting to come good now. Everyone in the NBA started struggles, but you can imagine what they've been like here, where they've had even less time between, even more time between seasons. Like what we'd finished. When did we finish here? February?
Yeah, last year was it?
Yeah, last year,
February, March. Yeah, I think it was
March.
March.
March, right? So it's almost been 10 months between drinks. That's a long time not to play professional basketball.
We naturally have big off seasons, but not that big.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and then you obviously look at Lazada. There's some different wrinkles in that too. Like you had to go overseas, you had to come back. Like you don't know what's happening. He's a next star. There really isn't that much pressure on him to be great either. Like he's already locked into a contract in the US, which I thought maybe last season was a little bit of that. I don't need to like over exert myself and play outside of.
So how it works is that because he went second round, he's essentially a stashed pick. So New Orleans Pelicans owns the right for 3 seasons, but can choose not to pick up the rights at any point. So obviously, RJ was drafted. He was in the league, and I can safely say Didi was better than RJ last season in stretches. LaMelo drafted playing in the league, and then
he was like LaMelo was not good last year in this league. But then if you look at him now playing for the Hornets, he's just like, wow, it's a totally different player.
Is it really, Ben? He's good, but it's a little bit circusy. His game is circusy.
Oh yeah, for sure. His game is circusy. What did I say to you? He plays like he's got the the special button held down the entire time. Like every routine thing is a highlight move. Like he just passes it out over the perimeter. And it's like behind the back, globetrotter over the top of the head. But at the same time, like if you look at the Hornets, right, as I guess where he is in his development. Going to the Hawks is a different thing to like now you're in the league, now you're in the NBA and you're playing with the Hornets. That's like, dude, you can't do any of this stuff now. Like you have to basically follow this path. The coaching's better. They're doing different things. Whereas if that in that Hawks season was just like, dude, just jack up shots. Who cares? You're here for 1 year. All you need to do is look great. Who cares? Like,
your destiny was already ordained. It doesn't really matter what you do, and then just get injured and not turn up for the rest of the season.
Yeah. So remember Russillo being like, even the guys on his team were like, great, bounce. We don't care. Like, we don't want to play with you anyway. It's like, damn, man. But to contrast that to Diddy, right? He doesn't have to be that. You know what I mean? Like, he just has to be a solid player, like a basketball player, without jeopardizing his career. It's a totally different type of thing, really, isn't it?
Yeah. He's in good form, he's NBA talent. In bad form, he's not. And that's really what it is. It's about get consistency to his game. So I don't really see him picking up in that NBA stance till he gets consistent. And it's just not there yet. So maybe, and you know what? We're probably not going to see enough games out of him this year to draw that, conclusion of consistency. So it'd be interesting to see what happens this offseason. I think he'll be back in Australia.
You reckon he'll come back next year?
Yeah, I reckon he'll come back as a pro basketballer. I mean, the only other way to do it is to get some games up in the G League and get 10-day contracts towards the end of the season, which he may do if we're going to get knocked out early. He may go to the he may join Will in the bubble. But
the G League, Will Magnay, Josh Green also just quietly. I was looking up Dallas today, he's in the bubble. God damn it! But I think I don't know. Like, I think this level is too low for him. I don't know. I've had that from the start where the level of this league is too low, and he kind of isn't a player that's just going to be a rational confidence guy who just tries to play out of his skin all the time. Like, he's a very I'm going to fit this team and like do things with my team. You can actually see the chemistry is a little bit better this year. Like he can, speak the language, move a little bit better on the court. He's doing a little bit better things. And knocking down shots, you can tell it makes him a better player too, like more confident. 5 of 9 from 3 in this game. You could see he was a little bit reluctant to shoot it over the last few games because it wasn't going down. And I guess from here, right, if he starts to go on a run of being high level, like what does that mean to this team?
It means you probably have to start him. Look, I still think the death lineup is where DJ, Diddy, Cooks,
a fit Cooks, yeah.
Fit Cooks and Hunter. I think that's the death lineup because you've got 3 shooting scorers and 2 defensive big man with, Cooks almost playing that, out of style small ball 5 that can push the place and finish around the rim. So that to me is kind of the death lineup.
We're still missing. We're probably missing that center, but
yeah.
That's the one piece. Like it's obviously we're going to play Cooks at small ball, and then maybe Jarrell Martin. So it's where
but you can play. But I think there's just so much shooting and scoring in the first 4 that Jarrell Martin would be more impactful in different lineups. Where potentially you're playing Moller or you're playing Tommy V or someone where you need someone down the block. But when you've got 3 shooters on the floor and some good screening action, especially with kick it, then I don't think Jarrell is most effective in those lineups. He's effective when Shawnee B's on the floor and someone can get him the ball and facilitate. And Moller's on the floor and there's scoring's going down. That's when he's most effective. But that quick small ball lineup with Geordie would be the death lineup for my mind. And it's the lineup that can really take it, I think, to Perth.
I think so what? I asked you before we went on air, like, I don't know what the answer is. Like, we blitzed them in the first half, and it was kind of working. Like, it was, and Cotton wasn't shooting the ball well. I had that feeling of like, maybe it's not Cotton's night tonight. And then obviously he goes off in the second half. But a lot of the blitzing stuff we were doing was actually working and being quite physical. Obviously then we rack up the fouls and, guys have to sit. We're shorthanded in terms of bigs and stuff like that. But I still look at that and you're tossing the coin going, you're either hoping Cotton has a bad night and doesn't shoot the ball well, because I don't think we have something in this lineup to go, right, this is how we're going to take out Cotton. And then I guess how many teams in this league really do have that? Not many.
Yeah, I think. Not many.
And our best defender when fit in terms of a guard is probably probably Diddy.
Yeah.
Because, Moller's kind of turned into a forward now. He's mainly playing a power forward. Sometimes he plays small ball center, which is not great. But yeah, I'm looking at that matchup and just going, wow, like we don't really have an answer for him. Like it's basically throw Casper at him and hope Casper can deal with it, or we just kind of let him shoot and let other guys beat us. And we're kind of doing that in the first quarter, first half. Like we were daring Bairstow to shoot. We dared Travis to shoot a bunch of times, and then coming off the bench, Wagstaff, 2 of 6, 1 of 5 for White, 2 of 5 for Bairstow. Like making those guys take shots. And then obviously with the night Mooney had, we just couldn't do it. 30 and 18, wow. 30 and 18, 3 assists, shooting 92%, 9 of 9, and 3 of 4 from 3. Wow. That's nuts.
Those nights win games.
For sure. There's not much you can really do about that.
No.
Casper, do we need to throw a little bit more praise on Casper?
No.
Before we move on?
He's back. He's back. He's
happy, comfortable.
Definitely my man of the match for both matches, quite clearly.
You've slanted out of the frame a little. You've relaxed back out of the frame. Don't relax, because it's time for 3, 2, 1 MVP. Adelaide.
3 Casper. 2 Hunter. 1 DJ.
I didn't put mine in, and I'm just going to go back to the box score because I was sitting there thinking about somebody and then I just completely forgot to put it in there. It's been hectic. Come on. Faster. Tommy V. Oh, kicks. That's what we wanted to do. So, yeah, I went Casper, Hunter. Casper, DJ, Kicks. Welcome back, kick it. Welcome back. Jeezy gives us a spreading of the floor. How good was that dribble handoff? You see that dribble handoff where he faked it? And then two guys went like and bumped into each other and it was just like, okay, sweet. Bang. And it's like, yes, he's back. So good. And then against Perth.
Casper.
Yeah, obviously. Can we just give 3-2-1 for Casper?
Yeah, Casper. No, DD2. DD2.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give Mola 1. Mola had a good night.
Yeah, I think Casper, DD, Capsa, DD, Mola. I'll fix that later. And again, shout out to everyone. Make sure you get those 3-1 fan MVPs in. Pumping along for more games. I was a bit slack and I had to put like a 2-for-1 in there. But yeah, make sure if you're listening along, get in there and give us your 3-2-1. Even throw it in the comments now if you're listening along. I will put it in. All right, tipping. Back to the old tipping. And like I said, it's 8 game rounds here. So suddenly the NBL Pocket Pod, shout out to him, has a 7-point round. Only misses out on that United bottling that game against Perth. He could have had a perfect round. And then suddenly he's just back at the top. He's like, damn. So let's go. Cup. Kings versus Breakers are on Thursday.
Kings,
yeah. 36ers then play United.
36ers.
Ooh. I went United. Interesting. Bullets play the Hawks.
Hawks.
It's tough, man. The Bullets are so hot and cold. It's like Sobey goes off or that's it. If he goes off, they play well. And Law was good in a couple of those games, and then he's kind of just been pretty awful. Taipans playing Perth. Yeah, I had Perth as well. 36ers then play the Breakers.
The Breakers.
Wow.
Throwing some. The chunk, Iverson chunk. They don't like the lanes being chubbed, and the Breakers have got some big chubby centers, man.
Yeah, that's a good shout. That's a really good shout, actually. I'm still going to go 36ers, but man, you're rolling the dice in this round. This is good. United at playing against the Kings. I guess they're not at the Kings. Kings are at United.
I'm going to go Kings.
Kings, yeah, same. We'll probably get wrecked, but whatever. I can't tip against the Kings, man. It's my fatal flaw. Phoenix then play the Hawks.
Phoenix.
I like the Hawks, but I'm going Phoenix as well. Bullets versus Taipans to finalize it.
I'm going to go the
Types. I went Bullets just for a sneaky random bounce back game. Crazy week, another 8-game week.
Yep.
Crazy stuff. Sorry,
this Breakers game.
Yeah, let's talk Breakers and United.
I think the United game for me is a game that I want to watch live. After going to the Breakers game live and seeing the Kings play down to their level, it's got
kind of "We may lose" written on it too.
It does and it doesn't. Look, I think that we've got enough talent in the backcourt that it's kind of overwhelms their backcourt quite significantly. I mean, Lamar Patterson's out. He hasn't been great for them this season, but he is
might be a boost.
Experience. Yeah, no, he's an experience. He's got to get hot at some stage. Like he's a professional. He's done the years getting 16 and 10 a night, 20 and 10 a night. He hasn't done it this year. It's going to be a big loss for them. However, I think that they're due for some. They're well coached. They're just not well talented. But I think Iverson's a decent big. It doesn't really affect us, but it will affect Adelaide, and that's why I'm happy we'll get the W. But I think Adelaide will struggle against their large centers and ropey guards.
They're very comfortably sitting at the bottom of the table, one win, 5 losses. Yeah, that team is just a mess too. I like the Webster brothers. I would take Headband Webster. I can't remember which one's which. Ty Webster. I would take Ty as backup. If we didn't have Shawnee Bruce, I'd take Ty Webster. But yeah, I don't know. We play down to the Breakers every time we play them. It's just like, let's play at their level and, try and then just play in the last 5 minutes and win these games. Because I've seen them live a couple of times. I have a recollection that there was Deng Deng's crazy 180 oop finish.
Yeah,
It was against the Breakers. And I remember
yeah.
that game just being like, oh my God, this game is a drag. Like, can we
They're
just...
always bad games. They've never been, oh, wow, this is an exciting game. It's just like, oh, this is bad.
we just play to their level. And, so hopefully in the bubble, we can get a roll on a bounce back game maybe. Two days after this game against Perth. Maybe it's a bounce back performance where the guys kind of go, but I guess, you're looking at this United game. So maybe that's another one where you're going, oh, we've got a big game coming up. So we play down to them again. Don't expend all your energy against the Breakers because we know they're crap,
Yep.
I feel that kind of vibe going into that game as well. But yeah, this United game, well, let's talk just briefly about United this season. I think they've only lost one game, and that was against Perth in this round. This
good team. Don't have a lot of fatal flaws. I just think that, with some streaky shooters and Didi getting hot, if Didi can continue that form, it's going to add a lot of issues to the team. Kick it back, sensible center, maybe a little bit less fouling and stretching the floor and spacing the floor, which is going to be good because essentially we have no post offense. Zero post offense. It's really just quick guards getting to the hoop and streaky 3-point shooters. So I think that's probably Melbourne's kryptonite, I would say, is because they can defend well in slow sets, but quick streaky sets could be an issue for them.
So looking through their roster, Joe Lual-Acuil and Landale, Barlow, Jack White, Hobson, Barber, and McCarron. I think Ely and Goulding are out still. I'm pretty sure they're still out. Yep.
It is a great team, though. It's such
a good team. It's well balanced because if you look at, I'm just thinking about it here. Like you've got Mitch McCarron, right, who is a good facilitator and a good ball handler and a decent playmaker, but like over his career, when I've watched him, I haven't ever gone, you know what he needs? He needs the ball in his hand to have a team and just create. Like I've always been like, I'm not, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't make a team centered around Mitch McCarron. And this season, he's kind of had all these other players in White and Barlow and Landale and Acuil, all forwards. Kind of all those guys can handle the ball and like all to have these unique sort of strings to their bow to make that offense a little bit more dynamic. And then you add in Udai Barber, who's just like a lightning, just runs up the court, and you're just like, holy, like Jesus, this guy's quick. So at the start of the season, they were playing insanely quick basketball, like getting up and down the floor. If we had a metric to measure the speed, then that would be first for sure because they were crazy quick. And then you kind of add in Scotty Hobson into this team, and it's just like, well, why is this guy in this team? Doesn't make any sense. So we've got all these, really good forwards who can all handle the ball. We've got a bunch of guards who, are kind of shooting guards, combos that can handle it. Let's just throw in, a forward who just needs the ball in his hand the entire time to score the ball.
Yeah,
it's just like, this doesn't work at all. And he, like, every time I watch them, like, I kind of feel sad for him because I'm like, he looks like it's in his head too. Like, he looks like, oh God, I'm not scoring this very well here. Like, and that's not the way he's played recently. Like, he got really hot for that Breakers team, but it was basically like a Rocket scenario where it's just like, you're the main guy, you get the ball, we'll all stand in the corner and you do your thing type of scenario. And Sek Henry as well was really good on that team. But this Melbourne, like, it's got so many weapons, man, and unique weapons too. Like Landale's playing really well. How good is it? Like, how good would he have been as a pickup for this Sydney team, man? I can't believe we didn't get him. And then Lual-Acuil, very good rim protector, very solid around the basket too, and can shoot a three, can slink out and shoot them as well. So it's going to be a tough game, man. Tough game. But one I want to see. Like, I want to watch this game.
Yeah, no, this is the game to watch. I'll be very interested in the outcome.
It'll start out being like, I love this team. Like, I love this team. I love Sydney, and then by the, second half when we're losing, it's just like, can't believe it. Oh my God. God damn it. You know what I mean? So yeah, another tough double game week coming up in this cup. We'll be back Monday. When is that game? I'm just going to double check when that game is.
Saturday night.
Saturday night. So we should be back Monday, yeah.
Yeah, we're back on normal. Back to your normal program.
Back to normal program Monday night. Yeah, so this has been a weird couple of days. Like I was just like, oh yeah, it's Wednesday. It feels like Monday. What's going on? Yeah, and I think that's probably about it for this episode. You got anything else to?
No, man. I think this week I'm going to try and hunt down, since we can't see the pick and roll and don't know when good articles are coming out from local basketball.
Oh yeah, the old
Facebook ban.
Yeah.
So I'm going to figure out how many rounds we've got left. I'm just going to try and do some in-depth research and to see what actually is the plan going forward. And you know, I think it's going to be a really packed middle crowd, and I think that fourth position is going to be fought over. And we're going to be part of that. I don't think we're going to be in the top three, but we're going to be part of fighting over that fourth position. So it needs to be interesting. We need to have a plan, obviously, going forward and seeing where we finish, and hopefully get a run of home games, which would be nice to go and watch. Where just no one wears masks.
Yeah. And nobody's wearing masks. All right, so as always, we're going to wrap it up there. As always, you can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook, on the King's Dime. You can also subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts if you want to listen to us in audio form. We're streaming this at the moment live on Facebook. So like our Facebook if you want to know when we're going live, usually on a Monday night. And as always, you can see us next time
on the King's Dime.